All right, y'all. So today we're going to get into some lats, um, chest, triceps, calves. That's what's on the docket today. It's my volume-based chest day, but I hit a little bit of lat pullovers since they're an accessory to the chest, and then triceps because they're an accessory to the chest, and then calves just because I need to work on calves. So the more volume I can get on those, the better. It's just kind of one of those things. The more you can hit them, eventually the more growth you're going to get. But I can tell you what, my lats are actually still kind of tender from back day. Because boy, oh boy, can I feel them like they are super sore right in here, right at the edge of the lat, getting into like the rhomboid. It is tender right there. And I can really feel it in the big stretched position on those. So that's good that we're kind of touching on them. We're not really going to beat them down. We're just going to get a little bit of a pump and move on from there. So 2-3 more sets here, and then we'll be able to get into chest. All right, so we're going to jump up another 10 pounds here. Just did 30 to start. Now we'll go ahead and hit a set here at 40. All right. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to go ahead and move on up to 50s without a problem here. So let's add another 10, bang out another set. So it's kind of weird. This morning, instead of going and getting a Red Bull, I went ahead and had the Go BHB like we were talking about yesterday. And it's kind of weird. I felt fairly energetic from it. But it also made my nose run. It's just kind of weird. Ugh. 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 So, I was like, that's pretty interesting. I wonder if that's common. So, of course, you turn to Google, right? Google knows all. And, yeah, apparently that's a common reaction when you start taking a Go BHB supplement. So it can cause like runny nose. If your body's super sensitive to it, can cause like flu-like symptoms for a couple days. Same as like if you go on a keto diet, they call it the keto flu because you're not having any carbs at all. You get super depleted, obviously, and your blood sugar and everything's going to drop until your body starts burning fat and goes into ketosis to start replacing those carbohydrates that way with ketones. So, because the Go BHB is exogenous ketones, it can create some interesting little effects initially when you first start taking it if your body's not used to being in ketosis or consuming ketones. So, that is kind of weird, but brain clarity, good. Focus, all that stuff, still seems the same. But I will say, I wouldn't say quite motivation, but at least a little more antsy like I kind of want to do more. Like, don't really want to sit around. So I don't know if it's from that or if I'm just, having one of those days where I'm just bored type of thing. So I do think that's an interesting fact, but it has made me just kind of want to get up and just walk. So if that's the case, I'm excited because I am working on increasing my steps. Like we were talking about yesterday's, 10,000 steps is like a baseline. So if that helps with that, that'll be super exciting. But so far, we're up there in our steps today. We're already like 7,000 something, I think. So we're already crushing today's goal. Our next little walk, but that'll hit us at 10, and then we'll end up being past that by the end of the day. But let's go ahead and get set up now for inclines, or no, cable flies. I'm sorry. So we're gonna go ahead and knock out cable flies now. So let me get set up for that. I'll bring you all back. All right, first set here, 20 pounds. This is going to be a nice, easy, light set. Nothing super heavy to start. I can definitely tell I haven't done flies in a while, though. It feels funny. Easy peasy. We'll definitely go up to 30. We might just stay at 30 and we'll just hit that for a few sets. Get the blood pushing into the chest. And then we'll be able to move into incline presses. So, I will tell you what. There's a lot of companies out there that do some shady stuff. I tell you what. Freaking. So we're getting into the people buying the home have to now or going through their little credit check and whatnot to be approved to take over the solar panel payments, which without solar, here at this house, the electric runs like $700 to $800 a month. Because you get screwed in Massachusetts, especially being on Cape. You have only one energy provider, and they charge you a 100% service charge. So if your bill's $100 of energy, they charge you $100 for service. If your bill's $200, they charge you $200 for service. So it's a $400 bill, right? So not only do they screw you on that, price per kilowatt is insane here. It's like 28.5 cents to 32.5 cents. For example of how bad that is, where I'm moving to in Florida, it's 6.5 cents. So don't ever let green energy take over in your state, because all it is a scam to charge you more and more. You don't get any benefit from it other than just paying more. And now, so we went ahead. So before I moved here, the stepdad had solar put on the house and he leased the system. Not a great idea to start with, but with that, obviously, the solar system is not paid off because one, they hit you with a wild 25-year lease. And it costs $160 a month for the solar. And they've had a bunch of problems with it not charging and everything else. So they still have had massively huge electric bills while adding $160 a month. Now, when it's working right, they pay about $40. Which, hey, that's a lot better than, $600 or $800. And it would pay for the system, yes. When it works. They've had nothing but problems with it. So out of the 5.5 years they've had it, I would say 2.5 years it's been broken or not charging correctly. So thousands upon thousands of dollars have been wasted on their part. And they will not reimburse you for it when it doesn't work right and everything else. So, but now they want a fee to transfer the lease to the people who are going to take over who are buying the home. One, why does that make sense to charge a fee? Your employees are already there and working and doing things. And you're being paid monthly for the solar contract. Which already is like, okay, well, they're taking over the payments and they're going to have this thing for another 19 years. Why are they paying why do we have to pay a fee for you to just type in your computer a new name on the contract? And that's it. That's all they're doing. Literally 3 minutes of work. So, but it's wild. They charge an outrageous fee to do this after they're already a shitty company and going bankrupt and in bankruptcy and being bought by another company. So, it really pisses me off about this green energy bullshit. Because they want to push it on people, but then they don't want to maintain it. They don't want to make sure it's working correctly. And they punish you for not having it in this state. Because Massachusetts is garbage as fuck. Ugh. Ugh. But we're leaving this shithole. So it is what it is, right? Never live in a Democrat state if you don't want to get fucked over. Because the government here makes deals with all these lobbyists and utility companies that do nothing but make sure they can take more money out of your pocket and give you nothing for it. So that's my little rant for today. So if you're wondering what side of the fence I sit on, that should answer that. But we're going to go ahead and get set up now. Incline Smith presses and finish beating on this chest. But so the reason why I kind of bring that up is, just bad business practices in general. It doesn't really matter what type of business you have. It's a fast way to lose customers. So, especially saying like the fitness industry, if you're claiming your pre-workout or your BCAAs or your creatine or your Go BHB or your fish oil, your multivitamin, whatever, has all this stuff in it, right? And someone sends that out to third-party testing, and it doesn't match that label, that's illegal. It's fraud. But two, that is just some shitty business practices. Or, if you say you're open 24/7, but you're really closed from, say, 2 to 5 in the morning or something, it's not 24/7. But it puts a bad taste in people's mouth pretty quickly when something is advertised or sold to them in a specific way and it's not what they receive. And I've seen that quite a bit inside of like fitness and supplement stuff or training programs, things like that. Like, you know, some of the stuff works and it is exactly what it says it is. It does what it says it's claiming to do or supposed to claim to do according to what the research says. And the products are very open about this research with these studies says this can help with this, you know, and that's why this ingredient is in our product or why we're making a product around this. One of the people that I like a lot who do this is Mark Lovenliner from Tiger Fitness. He's dude's on point quite a bit. I actually ran across a few of his videos talking about Go BHB, and that's why I'm actually trying it. So transparency and honesty is going to get you pretty far in a lot of things, especially in business. You know, if you're screwing people over, you might make some fast money, but you're not going to make money for a long time, right? So I'm kind of thinking about that in like the terms of like training and stuff too. Like if you're paying somebody to help train you or prep you for a competition and the results don't come in, if you're not cheating, you know, there's people out there, you know, half-assing their workouts, cheating on their diets, blah, blah, blah. That's one thing. That's not what I'm talking about, though. If you follow everything to a T and the results aren't there, that's a problem. But all we can do at that point is, you know, support the companies that do it right. Don't spend money with the companies that do it wrong. I guess another good example of that currently would be Cracker Barrel. Nice. But I kind of talk about all that to, you know, make the point I'm getting towards in relation before I kind of got to the point here or topic of is, you know, don't, you know, lie to yourself, basically. Don't sell yourself big dreams that are just unattainable. Because all you're doing is just selling yourself short at that point. Make sure you're setting your goals to be attainable and do them in small steps. Because every time you achieve a small step, it's going to push you to, like, try to get to that next little jump and that next little jump, right? Because you're actually achieving your goals. But if you set the goalpost so far down the road that you can't even see the thing, you're never going to freaking get there. And you're going to get super demoralized and you're just, you know, you sold yourself something that you can't do. So it's bad to, like, not quite oversell yourself. Like, you could be like, oh, you know, like one day it'll be cool to do this, right? But that's not setting a solid goal. Your solid goal is in 6 months, I want to bench 315. But if all you can bench now is 135 pounds, you're unless you're on steroids, you're not going to bench 315 in 6 months. So, is that possible? Yeah, if you're taking gear. For the average person, no, it's not. Now, if you're benching 135 and you're like, man, in 6 months, I want to bench 185 pounds. That's an awesome goal. That, you know, you can see that. you can get to that. That's not wild and extraordinary, 50 pounds in 6 months, that's doable. So that's where, being an honest salesman to yourself on what you can set yourself up to do matters. Because then you're not going to be mad at yourself because you failed the goal. You're not going to be mad and not want to keep trying because you didn't achieve what you should have or could have done, depending upon which way you're looking at it. So, because if you sell yourself that 315 and you only get to 185 in 6 months, you're going to discredit the fact that you still put 50 pounds on your bench. And that's wild. There is tons of people out there that would just love to add 50 pounds to their bench. So, crap, right now, I hit 275 for 2 super controlled singles. My 1RM's probably 285 right now. I would love to add 30 more pounds to my bench. Realistically, to add that 30 pounds, I'm probably not going to do that I might be able to do that by like New Year's. Because I've got things coming up in life that's going to take me out of the gym, be busy, and everything else, just like it already has been. So, realistically, I probably won't bench 315 again. Maybe not this year. So, but it's possible. Depending upon how everything plays out and whatnot. But I'm not holding myself solid to that. Now I can hold myself solid to being able to bench 290, 295 by the end of this year, 100%. So that is what we're working towards. And with that, it's also getting 2 sets of 3 at 275 is the big goal right now that we're working towards. So, that's the part that's going to be the hardest right now, is just getting to that. So, but let me add some more weight to this, and we'll try to hit another set. All right, so 230-ish. It varies because the weight of this bar kind of varies depending upon where it is in its run, but minimum 230. So we're going to shoot for, at least 3 here. I'm hoping. I think we did 1 or 2 when we tried for 230 last time. This is going to be heavy, without a doubt. Probably should back down off this weight a little bit and just make sure I'm hitting 5 reps. But I also do kind of want my incline bench to be growing. Oh, nice thunder. I may not be going on a walk. But I am trying to push up my incline bench along with my regular bench, because when this gets bigger, my flat bench gets bigger. And when I was benching 335, my incline bench was 290. So it needs to be at least 45 pounds of a window. Like within that, I'm assuming, to try to stay. So if I'm benching 275, I should be at 230 here. So oh, yeah, we're only going to hit that for 1. That was super heavy. But that was solid. All the way down to the chest and up. That is uber heavy. But now I'm going to get set up for triceps. So give me a second here, we'll get into them. All right, so we've got 40 pounds on here to start with. Nothing crazy. We're just going to work on nice, solid contractions here. Sets of 8 to 10. We're just going to work up the stack a little bit, see where we kind of fall at. We haven't done heavy tricep work in quite a while, and with the biceps getting a little heavier in the dumbbells, I want to make sure that I'm also getting a little heavier in the tricep work, as well as it takes a pretty strong tricep to bench heavy numbers, because down from like here to here, that like halfway range is all chest. But getting from here to the lockout, that's a lot of tricep also. So if you got little weak triceps, you're going to have a hard time finishing your bench. You're going to be able to get to here, and then you're going to get stuck because you can't get to here. So if you are struggling with the upper half of your bench press, you got to work on your triceps. That's your problem. So now if you're getting stuck down here in the hole, some of that's going to be lats. You need to be able to get them lats tight and set to help drive, as well as just the overall chest. So a lot of, not too much flies, but a lot of cable presses and across the chest presses. So it helps me fix that like bottom sticking point, because I get such a big, deep stretch doing them. Dumbbell presses can also help with that quite a bit, because you get a much further range of motion and just a bigger, deeper stretch. So those are a couple little tips if you're struggling with your bench press that can help that happen. Easy peasy. So far, these are feeling pretty good. We're going to see how 60 pounds feels right now. All right, well, elbow still feels happy. Let's go up to 70. All right. Got these. Easy peasy. I wonder what we'll get up to today. I've got a hope here, but we'll see. All right. I've got 90 pounds on the stack now. This will be the most I've done in tricep extensions in years. We can do these right now. Sorry, it is starting to rain. It's probably going to be a little loud. This is going to be our last set, though. So let's see if we can get it. God. Oh. Ah. Woo! 90 freaking pounds. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Starting to get kind of strong. Ooh. Horseshoe's coming in nice too. I can feel it. But with that, guys, make sure you're out there working towards your goals, getting your stuff done, and most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.